Welcome back as we continue our coverage of the budget vote debate on the Department of Higher Education and Training. Now, the chairperson of the Higher Education Portfolio Committee, Mutswane Malale, welcomed the allocation of funds for financial assistance and fee-free education to struggling students, but warned that this, or at least that such assistance goes with responsibility.
Our government has seen 400,000 FET students being enrolled and studying in our institutions free of charge. We have witnessed successful final year university students having their loans converted into full year cost of study. We have seen an allocation of a loan scheme that ensured that graduates are able to receive their results, their certificates and academic transcripts from their universities. These are solid steps that give practical expression to our commitment to the progressive realization of free education. I do know that SASCO expressed a concern as regards the concept of free fee education. The reality of the situation is that free education comes at a cost. The billions that the minister talked about are going to be pumped into our various universities to be able to pay our staff, to be able to expand the infrastructure so that we could provide education for our people. And it also gives us a responsibility to replenish these resources for future generations. And that is going to be a responsibility for all of us who go through the education system.
Now, Annalie Lotritt of the DA commended the department for funds made available for infrastructure, student loans and bursaries. She said this will indeed increase the number of students who can enter through the doors of learning.
The funding for infrastructure, student loans and bursaries is welcome and will indeed improve the number of students who can enter through the doors of learning. However, the reality is that if we look at the current undergraduate and college performance, the increase in intake is not necessarily in itself an efficient means of increasing graduate output. Given the problems in our school system, universities and FET colleges are faced with an increase of poorly prepared students. As it is, only 30% of all first-time entering students graduate within 5 years. If we have funding focusing on enrollment growth rather than improving the educational process, the question is whether it is money well spent. The further question is whether the focus is on the numbers that have to be expanded at the output or input end, and whether it also includes efforts to improve the output by increasing the efficiency and the quality of the system. Critical to success in any education system is quality. The quality of the curriculum and especially the quality of the teaching. Ticking the boxes is not a guarantee that quality will follow.
COPE is concerned about the dropout rate. As we speak, now it is at 50%. This undermines the access gains in tertiary institutions. Most affected are students from poor families and those who are National Student Financial Aid beneficiaries. Building people's universities. COPE wishes the proposed new universities will not be like another failing government department or institutions to be used to dispatch patronage and corruption, but successful institutions of choice for students. The two universities should be a beacon of hope in attaining people's education for people's power. Currently, we are concerned with the lack of consultation in the concept development with the people of the Northern Cape community. Skill shortage. In the financial sector alone, it was found that skill shortage is worsening. 79% of companies have difficulty in recruiting chartered accountants. 80% have difficulty in retaining scarce skills. We need to move with speed in building capacity to transforming the financial sector. The department must have tangible plans to deal with this difficulty. The emergence of two universities should attempt to deal with the transformation of the financial sector, science and technology.
We welcome and appreciate the role that NSFAS has played in promoting wider access to tertiary education for our youth. NSFAS has disbursed 7.7 billion in loans to students, which ensure that not only it spent its entire budget, but that the number of students assisted has increased. Challenges, Honourable Chairperson, that remain include registration delays, the abuse of the system by those who present false documentation in order to pass the means test, and officials who use the system for political patronage.
Minister, as u wil hê professors moet professors wees, hoe kan u dan toelaat dat 'n universiteit so Kaapstad verskillende toelatingsvereistes het vir mediese studente? Waar die kriterium byvoorbeeld sê nou maar 90 punte is vir wit studente, 85 vir Indiër studente, 80 vir bruin studente en 72 vir swart studente. Dan kan u nie professors kry wat 'n professor is nie, want u verlaag die standaarde vir toelating tot 'n universiteit.
Well, Minister, what effect does a strike like that at Walter Sisulu University have on the budget for higher education after students have gone on the rampage, burning down a dining hall, toppling fences, smashing windows and scattering litter? Is there an urgent investigation being done into the circumstances triggering the violent protests in which these students accuse management of dragging its feet regarding NSFAS loan agreements, not issuing Intelli cards, that is the meal vouchers, and of irregularly appointing a private security company? Other students, of course, have complained about student residences, which they say are in a foul state, filthy, dirty, run down and overcrowded, not to mention the ablution facilities. And apparently there's no dining hall operational at WSU. Instead, the students are entitled to vouchers to spend at a nearby Spar supermarket, and those vouchers have not been forthcoming, leaving students on a diet of bread and milk. And while this sort of behavior by the students is indefensible and
the training of teachers, Honourable Minister, falls under your department. We therefore call upon your department to take a closer look at the quality of preset training for teachers. We have heard how universities complain about the quality of learners that they receive from secondary schools. Today we complain to you, Minister, and universities about the quality of teachers the schools receive.
It's time for another ad break. A View from the House will return shortly.